Welcome back, you guys. I'm Tassie, and this is my ghostly update vlog. I'm sorry I missed last week, but it has been so crazy right now. You know, the weather's getting warmer. Everybody's got plans. Everybody's got things that they want to do. And my mom unexpectedly came into town. She's actually out in Fresno, California. So she came into town, and then boom, she wanted to film on my other channel with me. And then all of a sudden, my older sister was graduating from college. And then I had 2 birthday parties the next day. So it has been really, really insane. But things are, of course, amazing. I've just been really busy. And then I have a project I'm currently working on, and then work projects. I won an amazing award at work. So things are going really well. I've just been really hectic and really busy, so I do apologize. So in this week's video, I have a few questions I'm going to be touching base on. I was asked about people who have the same dreams, like from previous houses that you used to live in before. And typically, what does that mean? What can you do to get rid of it if you don't like to have those kind of dreams anymore? And then I was asked about incense sticks, basically the meaning of it. People pretty much know or understand the gist of the Asian money that we typically burn from my last video. I think that was my last video. And then I'm going to be touching base on, can shamans get sick? So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first question I had was about dreams, basically, and a lot of people have been asking me about dreams, especially about if you keep dreaming that you lived in a house before and you in real life you really did live there, but then you keep having dreams about this place, whether you're dreaming that you are still living there for some reason and things are happening, or you just find yourself in the house, and you may even become aware that you no longer live there, but you keep having the dreams of being there. A lot of times when that happens, it means you actually left a part of you there at the house. And it can be something more extreme than just losing your spirit. So people can lose their spirit if they get scared, they get really traumatic experiences, they get really sad. People can do that and leave their parts of them at different locations, right? Now, as far as, constantly having these kind of dreams though, and it may not happen to every single house you've ever lived in, but then you may sometimes still have dreams about certain houses and certain places you lived in. So pretty much something happened to you there where you actually left a part of you, and the only way to get that back, you have to actually do a ceremony regarding that. So typically a ceremony is required. It's not going to be as easy as hoopli. It depends on the severity of it. Like if you only sometimes have these dreams, or when you have these dreams, nightmares tend to happen, especially if there's always a ghost there or a demon there. Those kind of dreams, typically you'll need a ceremony done just to cover the tracks and the bases so that it doesn't happen to you going forward. All right, really briefly, I was asked about joss money and incense sticks. So you guys know about my previous video about how to ask a shaman for services. Joss money is typically used to burn for any type of spiritual thing. It can be money, and sometimes shamans will even have little figurines of people as well. So they all represent different things. And we use them at ceremonies. Anybody, you do not have to be a shaman, can burn Asian money for your ancestors or whoever it is, a loved one that you want to send money to. That's perfectly fine. You can be a girl. A lot of people have a confusion that you can only be a man to reach them. So you can be a girl. But if the household that you live in has that saka I always talk about, that paper shrine on the wall that you're not supposed to bump, then you have to do that outside. So not in the house. And you can burn it in the house, okay? But again, if you're a girl though, and you live with another guy's family and everything, and they have a saka and they're traditional, you would have to burn your stuff outside if you're trying to do it to your family. Now, as far as joss sticks though, so I had mentioned, remember I mentioned to you guys about the short joss sticks? So typically shamans buy that themselves if they want them. I would have the short ones, and the reason why I used to have them is because for shamans, we use them for different types of things. Typically, I would use them if I'm going to clean my shrine. And they actually symbolize the same thing. It's just that it doesn't burn as long. So when I have to clean my shrine, I have to alert my guides that, hey, I'm coming by to clean, because if I just start moving things on my shrine and start cleaning it, they'll get scared and they'll put me into physical pain. So I need to burn incense sticks to warn them, hey, I'm coming by to clean. don't punish me for it. So that's when I would typically use the shorter ones, because then I don't have to wait as long for it to burn all the way down, and then I can clean it. Now, the longer ones though, those are actually better, especially for like ceremonies. If you're asking for services, it just shows more respect. So that's typically why they use the longer ones. So what exactly are joss sticks for? Now, incense sticks, all shaman beliefs, they use them for different things. I know like Native Americans, they use certain things in their joss sticks. A lot of them will tend to use sage. They will even actually burn whole bundles of sage as well. They typically use that to cleanse the area. For shamans like myself, I would typically use them to, when I go into the spirit world, to do certain tasks and stuff, especially if you're like feeding our ancestors or doing hopli and stuff like that. Now, the whole point of the joss sticks, it actually is a trail. It's like opening a door. It's kind of like catching the spirit's attention, and you're feeding them. You do feed them with the incense sticks. So people might think you feed them with the money, right? But that's not really it. You actually feed them with incense sticks. So they smell it, they sense it, and they come. And okay, so I just had a whole vision of like all this other crazy stuff that, yes, it can attract negative spirits too. But that's how come for shamans, when they light incense sticks, typically they always protect their house. They are always protecting it. So if anything does come, they are alerted and they are aware. Now, that is basically what joss sticks do, incense sticks. We don't burn them for like the scent, like, all right, I'll tell you guys this. So growing up, I hated the smell of incense sticks. It always made me kind of nauseous. And then when I became a shaman, it was like, I couldn't get enough of it. And I love it now that I'm older, and because I was a shaman, I love it now. I love the smell, because it's not myself that actually enjoys the smell. It's my spirit guides who are really enjoying it, and they want incense sticks burnt for them. So they want to be fed. So that's actually what incense sticks are used for. And if you guys have ever gone to seek out a shaman, if you guys know it, if a shaman ever tells you to blow on an incense stick, like, okay, so I have done services for people who did not blow on incense sticks because my guides did not tell them to. So then they would just bring incense sticks like I told them to. And for my lineage, I always ask for 12 incense sticks, so that I would just take out however many my guides want me to burn. And they don't always have me burn all of them, by the way. So then however many they tell me to burn, and then I will go and seek out the service they came to ask for. But one time there was somebody who was really sick, and I had them blow on the incense stick. And when I went to go do the service for them, it was like clear as day. It like leads you into this whole clear path. So if anyone has ever told you to blow on incense sticks, it's real. Like, that's real. So again, we use it to feed spirits. We also use it to catch their attention, and it actually is a path that can lead us into the spirit world as well. Again, like among shamans, we don't use any type of drugs. We're not allowed to. So we don't induce ourselves to go into a trance, and the trance just comes over us. So that's what we use incense sticks for. And I actually don't have any incense sticks in my own house, because I'd be burning them all the time, because my guides would be like, burn incense sticks. And then I would get kicked out of my apartment, So. All right, so the last part of this video is, can shamans get sick? It's kind of obvious, but yes, they can. And I'm not talking about like a flu or a cold. Okay, anybody can get sick. But I think what the individual was trying to ask of me is, can shamans get sick spiritually? And they can. So a lot of this, it's like there's so many scenarios. A shaman can get ill from a ceremony. If a ceremony went bad, if they got injured during the ceremony, they will be injured in real life. And it can last. It can be permanent damages, or it can last for a very long time. Shamans can get things sent to them, and then they can get sick as well. Shamans can also get sick if their guides are unhappy with things in their life. So somebody had recently asked me about a shaman and the way their life goes. So the shaman's guides will always try to lead them right. to a path where they are healthy, safe, and happy. Okay. That's pretty much what the guides want, because again, they want to preserve their shaman, their chosen shaman. They're not going to try and get you to break your arm or leg. They will always try to stop it. And I'll tell you guys this, I once got into a car accident, my first car accident ever, my entire life, where I was the driver. I'm sorry. Basically I was driving and it was a four-way, and like the four-ways were far apart, and it was my turn to go, and I went straight, and then I was looking to my right, and this lady wasn't even looking at me. She was looking to her right. So she T-boned me perfectly, and it hit my passenger side. Now, I remember when it happened, I was looking at my passenger side, and this gold wall, it was like clear, but it was gold because it rippled. The wall completely rippled, and it stopped the impact from actually injuring me. So it was just the weirdest experience I've ever had, where my guides were being very forceful to stop it, and I was not injured whatsoever. I have been in other car accidents, and praise God, I have never been injured in any of them. And I've been hit by a car, you guys, riding a bike. I've been doing crazy things, like I've always been perfectly okay though. And even after the car hit me and I flew like across the street, I was perfectly okay. And it's just, your guides will always try to lead you at the shaman. And what happens though is the shaman will become more and more depressed, more and more angry, more and more resentful if they do not do what their guides want them to do, because their guides see and know their shaman better than they know themselves. So they will always try to lead them right. But people don't want to listen to it. It's kind of like people who know better, but they still stay because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of the hard work involved. But they will go into this deep pit depression, and it's all spiritual, and it's going to really mess with their heads because they're just not listening and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So yes, shamans can get ill, and there's a number of things that can actually cause the illness. You just got to pinpoint it and figure it out. Once the shaman actually overcomes what it is, they will be perfectly fine again. So, what's pretty crazy? A brief ghostly update before I end this video. The other day I was taking, I've mentioned this in mostly my mukbang channel, but my boyfriend, he has a cat and a dog, and the dog is named Sammy. And his dad has passed away, but his mom is still around. And so his mom went to some kind of class over the weekend, and so I helped take out their dog, Sammy. So I took Sammy out for a walk, and then I brought him upstairs, and I refilled his water to make sure everything was good. I gave him treats, and then I told him, be a good boy. I'll be back later. I'm going to give you some food when I've made dinner. So I leave, right? And as I'm leaving, I close the door, and then I hear a man's voice say, up, up. Like, clear, you guys. There was this man's voice, and it just said, up, up. And boom, I saw an image of my boyfriend's dad, and I was like, oh my God. And for me, that was like a revelation. Like, I think his dad still comes and visits Sammy, because Sammy, Sammy and Oscar, they'll stay at home alone upstairs at times. And I don't know why, like, I've never heard them before in the house. I've never actually heard their voice. I've seen them in passing, but I've never heard them. And so it was just so sweet. Like, I remember I closed the door, and I just heard this perfect pitch of a man, and it doesn't sound like my boyfriend. It has a deep tone like my boyfriend's voice, but it was a totally different voice. And it said, up, up, and it was talking to Sammy to get up on the couch. Oh, that was really sweet. I actually was not scared about that one, but that was like really sweet, like I didn't want to go back to the house though, so I made Eric go and check. But I told him, there was this man's voice that came right from behind the door, and it was telling Sammy, up, up. And I'm just like, I don't know, it was just really sweet because I've seen them in passing, but I've never heard their voices or anything like that. So to hear him, that he's there sometimes, and that he interacts with the dog still, and the dog was around before his dad actually passed. So he knew that his dad, and they got him as a puppy and everything. So he spent several years with his dad. And his dad had only passed away probably about 5 years ago. And Sammy's 13 years old. All right, you guys, so that is it for this video. Until next time.